Thank you very much, Steve. That was an excellent last presentation for the afternoon. I'll invite APAS President Bill Prybylski to bring some closing remarks.
Thanks, Dion. So yeah, certainly it's a pleasure for me to have the opportunity to bring closing remarks for today. I won't take too much of your time because I recognize that a lot of you are anxious to get out there for the opportunity to test your winter driving skills one last time. But I did want to take a few minutes of your time before you leave to just recognize a few folks. Certainly, obviously, want to thank everybody for being here today. I think you would agree with me that it's been a great event. We've had a lot of great speakers. Obviously, by the amount of people here that you agree with us that this has been a very relevant topic and timely in the fact that the trade issues that we're dealing with are a very relevant issue at the current time, and so your participation here was certainly welcome. I know there's a few people that didn't make it for various reasons, so I certainly want to thank everybody for being here today. I want to send a special thank you to Dion for chairing the event today. He did a great job of keeping us on time and on topic. And I want to thank our presenters today. I think they did a great job, a lot of professionalism, a lot of knowledge there. So the topics that we chose for today, I think were very relevant, and it was obvious that there was, by the participation, the questions that were asked, that there's a great deal of concern out there. And I'm hoping that you will agree that we were able to get a lot from this, and hopefully there's some answers that we as producers can take back to our own operations and help us make some of those decisions. I was a little disappointed. I was hoping that at least one of our presenters would come up here today and say, something like, "Hey, don't worry, everything's going to be cool. Tariffs are going to be gone in a few days. Grain prices are headed for new records. That all our supply chain issues are behind us, and that our federal government is finally recognizing the potential for agriculture." Unfortunately, that's not the reality. The reality is that tariffs, or at least the threat of tariffs, are likely here for the near future to stay. Our grain prices in particular have eroded, and it looks like they're likely to stay that way for a while before there's any improvement in those grain prices. While I'm not aware of any current labor issues in the supply chain, that seemed to be kind of the flavor of the day a few months ago, where it seemed like there was just one labor issue after the other in the supply chain. It was very disheartening. So hopefully those issues are behind us. And unfortunately, we've been dealing with a federal government that has, for the most part, been rather dysfunctional for the last 6 to 8 months, and being in the middle of an election now, that's likely to continue for at least the next month. And hopefully after the next election, that there will be some leadership from our federal government. So our goal for the summit today was to bring together producers, industry folks, academics, a wide range of folks to get some clarity on some of the issues that are facing the agriculture today. We know there's a lot of challenges out there, and I think the lineup of speakers that we had today hopefully will have brought some clarity to some of those issues. So again, we want to thank our speakers for today, and I think that for the most part we accomplished what we had set out to do there, and by bringing these speakers in today. They've brought some measure of clarity for us as producers. We heard some talk about grain contracts and the need for modernization of those grain contracts. I think APAS is committed to working to ensure that we do have that modernization in those grain contracts, and that we will, in the near future, hopefully see more fairness in those contracts to protect producers' rights. And APAS is going to continue to work with the Saskatchewan crops to get that rebalancing and that fairness in the contract models. We heard about our export sales data and the need for better and more reliable and more expedited information in terms of sales data, and the potential that might bring not only to each individual farm, but to the Canadian economy as a whole. By having that data, we can make better decisions that will benefit everybody. agriculture advocacy. We heard talk about the need for that and the challenges that we face in getting our voice heard to the people that are making those decisions. I recognize that collaboration is certainly a big key in getting our voice heard. The more voices we have working together with the same type of a message, taking it to where it needs to be heard is certainly important. And it kind of reinforces what we at APAS have been seeing, that if we can come there to Ottawa with a strong unified voice, that from a producer's perspective particularly, that we're starting to get recognized, and the politicians are starting to listen to what we have to say in agriculture, and recognizing that we not only are coming there to have a long list of our issues, but we're bringing solutions to some of those issues. So we will continue that advocacy effort on your behalf. And then, of course, trade and tariffs. When we first started organizing this summit, we talked about some trade issues, but it was kind of one of those things that, it'd be good to talk about it. But as we got more into organizing things, it became very clear that this was going to be a huge topic, and that there was going to be a lot of need for some clarity from producers on how this is going to affect the industry as a whole and your farms in particular. So I think we did our staff did a really good job in collaboration with our other organizations to bring you a good lineup of speakers that very knowledgeable in what they were presenting, and I think we've all kind of come away with some better knowledge. So with again, thank them, and we will continue to work on trying to, as some of the speakers explained today, it's really hard to define how these tariffs are going to affect producers, but we will continue to keep an eye on it and do what we can to help producers make those decisions going forward. So where do we go from here? I guess, again, there's a lot of uncertainty out there, but we will continue to work with other organizations in collaboration to put together events like this, our lobby efforts as well. And, I think from our perspective, that is when we're going to get things done, when we can collaborate with the other organizations and get that common message out there. So I would like to take an opportunity to especially thank those other organizations that we collaborated with for this event. So we had Sask Eggs, Sask Pork, Sask Wheat, Sask Oilseeds, Sask Barley, Sask Cattle, and Sask Pulse. So again, thank you very much for your participation. I'm very confident that as we go forward, we are going to see some results. We are, I'm sure, looking at some very tough times coming in the near future, but I'm very confident that by working together with other organizations, our advocacy work, that when we come out of this on the other side, and we will come out of it at some point, that we will, as an industry, we will come out of this stronger than we are today. And as somebody quoted earlier, never waste a good crisis. So I think that's something that we can rally behind, and going forward, we can achieve great things as an industry. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming. I think you'll agree that it's been a great day, a great event. I look forward to again speaking with a lot of folks in the near future. And for those of you that are traveling, please be safe. On behalf of APAS and all the other organizations, thank you again, and have a good day.